afternoon, organized labor under intense pressure to proceed with October 10 industrial action despite President Akufo-Addo's intervention.
This afternoon, we will also take you to the eastern region where crop production is under threat as illegal miners are destroying farms.
A lot later, big day for Ghanaian football fans as head coach Otto is set to release his squad for the doubleheader against James Kwesi Appiah's Sudan.
This is NewsCentral. I'm Kemeni Amano.
And I am Mawena Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now.
This afternoon, there are fears that Ghana's fight to contain the Mpox outbreak could be hampered if adequate resources are not made available to the Ghana Health Service. Limited funding is said to be hampering the fight against the outbreak, with laboratory testing and contact investigation under threat. Let's take a look at what we know so far. As far as this outbreak is concerned, we know one person has got the virus so far, and over 200 cases were also tested but turned out negative. Now let's look at the gaps and challenges that we'll find as far as our fight against the virus is concerned. It will include limited funding to support sustained laboratory testing and outbreak investigations, limited funding to support sample transportation, especially from hard-to-reach areas such as in the affected district, need for social support for suspected or confirmed cases who need community isolation. So we need some isolation centers in these rural communities. More on this, the Ghana Health Service maintains it will be able to contain the situation. Dr. Frank Esiedu-Bekwe is Director of Public Health.
The confirmation of a case is a testament that we have a surveillance system which is good. We have identified 230 suspected cases spread across all the regions, and so it tells you that we are looking for it across all the regions. And we want to urge Ghanaians or the public, report if you have rashes on your body. If you do not report, we cannot easily see it. So for this particular instance, what we are trying to do, we are also combing the communities, doing case search to see whether people have lesions who are not reporting. And we're also looking at our records to see whether there are cases that we could have missed. So this is an ongoing process, and just want to assure Ghanaians that our health system is effective to manage the outbreak.
In the Western North region, there are calls by residents for more education. Ghana's only confirmed case is in that region, sparking fears among residents. Correspondent Matthew Ahiave has been speaking to residents.
And we are pleading with the stakeholders, the leaders, and the government for the education that they can help us to know ourselves and how we can protect ourselves from this deadly virus. It's very deadly because it's easy to spread and it's dangerous to take life. So we are pleading with the management that as we have recorded our first case, we are pleading with them to help us to educate the people in our region and people surrounding us, our nearby facilities, the health workers, that they will take precaution about it, so that how to clean themselves, how to protect themselves, how to even do the hand washing and using the hand sanitizer in order to prevent the spread of the monkeypox. Thank you.
I heard the news this morning, and I think it sounds very bad. So I'm pleading with the agencies here, especially the Ghana Health Service, to come to our aid. Because since this is the first time, so that it doesn't spread, and that's my suggestion.
Friend me Anas Abdullahi Kalu, and we are na metie no news mu. Say sa a friend say Yarena Aba Western Norfolk, and we can say among for me pia abantin me say nipa bebre e complain. I say panic akra aba e yon nti yesre mo ampanyifo no monhwe na mombaye screening bia na say mbo bi wo ho no ayese mbabua na ma bebo an said be ya and spread it original idamase.
Let's move away from the subject of Mpox to illegal mining, and organized labor is under intense pressure to proceed with the October 10 demonstration. This comes after President Akufo-Addo had pleaded with the union for more time to engage various interest groups. The unions have laid out key demands they believe government must meet. A reminder of what these demands are. They're going to come up on your screens right now as we've been walking you through these demands all through the week, which amongst many things include what is the immediate declaration of a state of emergency, the revocation of the law allowing mining in forest reserves, and the establishment of special courts to prosecute mining offences. Also, we know that organized labor is demanding the outright ban on all small-scale mining activities, whether legal or illegal. And like we've mentioned, the declaration of state of emergency, the revocation of LI 2462 as well. That's come up strongly for debates, and it's come up as one of the things they're asking government to do. They met the president yesterday, leadership of organized labor, where the reporter spin the president is demanding a lot more time. Well, former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansasare, says the president has not demonstrated any commitment to end illegal mining and must not be given the chance to buy time.
Heed the president's advice for the simple reason that the president has not lived up to expectation as regards the promises that he has made the nation. He, on assumption of office, put his presidency on the line and said, should he fail the galamsey fight, he'll pay for it. We have asked him to apologize. He hasn't apologized. He has only 3 months, 8 weeks. And by now, he should have allowed his wife, Dr. Bawumia, to assume the reins of government. 6 months into his exit, he shouldn't be asking organized labor to do anything. He has not been sincere. He will not be sincere. He will not keep any promise that he will give within the next 8 weeks. So as far as I'm concerned, organized labor should proceed with their timetable. And I would advise organized labor to do the following. 1, ask the president to step aside and hand over to his vice immediately. They should give the president up to Tuesday to hand over to his vice. There's no useful addition or useful transformation agenda that the president has, for us during the forthcoming 8 weeks or so. 2, the president must ensure that a caretaker government is established. By now, he and his ministers should have prepared their handing over notes. So let him resign and block with his cabinet and allow the vice president to appoint interim ministers to steer the affairs of state up to election day. As far as the galamsey is concerned, my take may be in this, that all the political parties should realize that the fight against galamsey is a shared responsibility.
Well, the Ghana Water Company says its supply of water in the central region has improved through the efforts of the Central Regional Security Council in dealing with illegal mining. The company last month expressed concerns about the impact of pollution which is affecting its work. Let's look at parts of that statement as issued by the Ghana Water Company, where they, amongst many things, say that the Setre Himan water treatment is currently recording an average stability of 9,000 NTU as compared to the previous average stability of 14,000 NTU through the effort of the Central Regional Security Council led by the Minister Justina Marigold Asan. As a result of this event, production at the plant has now increased from 1.9 million gallons per day to 2.7 million gallons per day. But from the environmentalists and those who paying close attention to water treatment, this is nothing really to be celebrating. Meanwhile, the mines and energy analyst Kwame Jantua, however, says the water company is only seeking to please government and that it is too early for such claims of improvement to be made.
They should stop the sycophancy. They stop the sycophancy because it's hitting hard. They want to protect the president. The president should act. That's what we're asking for. They're not asking for anything else. Act. Water is life. Act. So let's see whether the central region is going to get water within a certain duration of time. What did the Minister of Mines and Natural Resources tell us? He said the fights are going to who? The regional ministers. So it's the regional minister who is now in control. And they are controlling the water company to say things that would favor them. But you see, the irony is that if the president starts acting now, it can save him with the election, can't it? Ghanaians will say, oye bibi. But if you say you're calling for more time, what more time do you need? That is what I don't understand, President Akufo-Addo. What more time do you require? What does it take to start putting things in place? What does it take? The demands of labor, are they demands that cannot be achieved? Is that what we are saying? Nobody has said ban small-scale mining for a duration of time. We said ban it so that we can now start putting things in place. Don't you think when this particular issue of alluvial gold being mined on our water bodies, when it started, and it started more in President Akufo-Addo's term, when it started, if he then came and said, this thing is going to be a challenge for us. Let's see how we put it in place. Gold mining is a lot of money. It creates a lot of jobs. The people won't stop it. But let's put it in the right frame of mind. So let's ban it. When he banned it for a few months, what did we see? Did we not see the stupidity of the water change? Did we not see it? And why did he then decide to lift the ban? Because they lost 10 constituencies in the election. So he's bringing party before country. How is that possible? These are some of the things I do not understand.
So what do you say Labour should do? Should Labour wait until President comes back to them, or they should just act? If
by the 10th of October, the President hasn't acted, we go on the streets. We shut this country down. This galamsey is what? What is it doing? It is a threat to us. It is self-imposed genocide with all the kinds of minerals.
That's the sort of pressure that's coming to bear on organized labor as their leadership met the president yesterday. Not all members were present. There have been concerns about attempts to break the front of labor and the likes. They were supposed to meet and communicate the president's decisions and responses to them, to their respective unions. Let's get an update from organized labor. Daniel Opoku is our labor affairs correspondent. He's joined us right now for a bit more in terms of what's happening on the labor front. Daniel, what can you tell us in relation to what is expected to be a meeting between the leaders who met the president and the other labor groupings today? Is that meeting coming off?
Right. Good afternoon to you, Marina. After the meeting with the president yesterday, organized labor was supposed to have met this morning, but unfortunately, quite a number of them are not around. A lot have traveled outside the country, so they have decided to shift the meeting to Monday, where they will meet and be able to resolve and somehow get adequate briefing from the spokesperson, who's also the Secretary General of the TUC, as well as exactly what transpired at the presidency. Then there will be the next line of action.
And so that meeting is expected on Monday. It's from there that a decision will be taken. There's been concerns, though, from some other labor groupings that meeting with the president yesterday did not have the full complement, and that government is seeking to divide labor, the front of labor. Have you picked that sentiment up? What's been the conversation surrounding that meeting yesterday as well?
Right. So usually when the president initiates an invitation to organized labor, normally we don't have the whole members attending the meeting. Sometimes it's just the key members of some of the key leaders of organized. So for instance, once you have 3 labor centers, you have the TUC being led by the Secretary General. He was part of the meeting yesterday. and his deputy, Dr. Otu, was also part of the meeting. Then also from the public services, from the public sector, where you have the forum, you have Isaac Bamford. Unfortunately, he was not part of the meeting, but he sent a representative. And also the Ghana Federation of Labour also sent a Deputy Secretary General to be part of the meeting. I believe that other unions, for instance, one look at UTAG. UTAG is on its own. UTAG is not an affiliate member of TUC, but it takes part in most of the discussions of organized labour. So I believe we don't have all the complements of the members attending the meeting at the presidency, but usually when conclusions are made, for instance, what happened yesterday, where the president has requested for more time and also to be able to engage further to get the issues resolved. In this case, Labour will come and brief its constituents. It's the reason they have scheduled Monday as the day for the meeting. So when they brief the constituents and they buy into the need or what the proposal of the president, that there is a need for him to be given a lot of time, then they will do that. But beyond that, in case they sell the idea to them and they don't buy into it, then obviously then they have to embark on a nationwide strike. Let's not forget that there's an example, for instance, in the case of the Smiths. After they had met the president and they came back and briefed their members, they stood by their decision that we are embarking on a strike.
Right.
Then the decision to sell Smiths hotels was shelved. So in this case, when they are able to conclude the meeting on Monday and they don't get any concrete confirmation from the presidency or from any sectors of the executive arm of government, then obviously there's a possibility that they will carry through the strike on 10th of October.
Right then, Daniel, many thanks for those details. A lot of you have been speaking in relation to this on social media, asking Labour not to back down on their threat of a strike on October 10. We'll see what happens on October 10 on Monday after that meeting. But a lot more stories in relation to Galamsey this afternoon.
Indeed, Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Kingsley Nyako, says the decision by organized labour to embark on an industrial action over concerns of illegal mining and its associated consequences may only lead to a reduction in government's revenue collection.
Lead with organized labour that instead of embarking upon strike that we don't know when it's going to end, the best way is to keep engaging the authorities for us to come to a meaningful, progressive and productive solution to this particular problem. You know what I mean? So I'll plead with them. Strike actions, industrial actions will only lead to, for example, a reduction in productivity. That will also affect our revenue envelopes and all that. Is that what we want? We are a country that is seeking to raise revenues, to build our roads, to build other infrastructural projects. That should be the focus, okay? Nobody should think that the fight against galamsey or illegal mining is something that is easy. It's complex, and we all know what is happening. But it can be dealt with effectively, and we can win it when all of us see the need of protecting our lands and our water bodies. My plea to organized labor is that their ultimatum, for me, is not the best. If you enter into the negotiation with a certain mindset, okay, you are fixated on your position, then it becomes difficult for us to be able to resolve that issue within a certain reasonable time.
Well, now, it's day 2 of the Stop Galamsey protests and hundreds of protesters have poured onto the streets to demand an end to illegal and unethical mining in the country. The protesters are also asking for the release of more than 50 people who were rounded up by the police during similar protests last week. Let's speak to Joseph Armstrong, who's correspondent. He's been traveling with the protesters through the streets of the capital, and he's joining us with a bit more on this. Joseph, good afternoon to you. Talk to us about what's happening now. We see a lot of protesters behind you.
Kamini, so we are still on the streets now, approaching the airport junction. Today has been a little bit slow as compared to yesterday. And everywhere the demonstrators or the protesters get to, they think and relax themselves. They are not in haste at all, making things very for the police personnel as it stands now. We've been moving for the past almost about 5 hours now, and between the Congo and the airport junction, it's the only distance we've been able to cover so far. If you see right now, they've made another stop, not too far from Shangri-La over there, and for them, it's a full day for them. They are not in haste, and that the police cannot even ask them to move the pace at which they want. How they've decided to move today. Yesterday was a little bit faster, but today they want to go this way. But I'll talk to two of them now, Kevin, if you don't mind.
Right, go ahead.
So, boss, what's happening today? Today appears to be a little bit slow. What's happening?
The numbers may have gone down, but the energy and the momentum is still the same as yesterday, if not even more. And that is because our objective is simple. That it's about time galamsey is stopped in this country right now. And the protesters who have been jailed, they need to be released and set free. Look, the Constitution guarantees rule of law. Rule of law simply means everybody is equal before the law. But as we have it now, there are people doing galamsey with impunity, and the law does not apply to them. But protesters who are fighting for clean drinking water for our collective interest, they are languishing in jail. Why is the Attorney General being selective? Why is he not prosecuting those who are doing galamsey? But he's going after protesters. That is an injustice. And injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And that is why we are protesting, and we will not relent, we will not stop until galamsey is stopped. The president should declare a state of emergency. He's the commander-in-chief. Nobody can declare a state of emergency unless the president. Therefore, declare a state of emergency now. And free the protesters now.
And free the protesters now. So, Kamini, let me get somehow closer to where the other protesters are now. Let me find out exactly why they are refusing to move them around. They've taken the entire road, creating more traffic as compared to yesterday. Yesterday was very smooth, but today it appears they are taking a different dimension altogether. But yesterday, let me add that they had Attorney General representatives coming to receive their petition. They said they are going to give it to and natural resources. So until they get land and natural resources getting their petition today, they are not going to leave the Ministry of Land and Natural Resources. But let me enter where they are. So this is where we have the main squad, the squad that's tearing up the demonstrations. So, where are you coming from? We are coming from Kaswa. So you happen to be Tell me, why did you join the demonstration today?
I joined the demonstration because we want to you see that coming from Ashanti, and let's see that our land, most people in Accra, their posters are from those places. So destroying our land is also, big things that we'll be getting from there.
So that's how you joined the demonstration.
And also,
so let me talk to this standing boss. So you're also here. What's the message?
Simple. Obviously, the country is being dragged to a pit. What is being committed is people genocide. Not until we put a stop to it, we will all die. Every by different acts, and we need to stand up as a Ghanaian youth or as Ghanaian in Rome, at the home, and fight this menace.
Thank you so much.
Very well.
So, Kamini, today I have seen a lot of people traveling from far and near, particularly from the western region, the Bushra region. I spoke with one man earlier who told me he's coming all the way from the upper west region, and many other people seem to have traveled from far and near to join today's protest.
Well.
Even though the numbers cannot match up to what we saw yesterday, it looks like we have new faces turning up today, and the energy is strong. I can also see some media personalities who have joined the protest. And, that's what it is now. But let me just so how's it going? So you are supposed to be You are not faced. So tell me, why did you going to the protest?
I just think that galamsey is terrible and it's not good for our water bodies. So, it's important that we lend our voice to.
Thank you. So there's another personality here. Boss, you're also here. Why did you also choose to join?
God has blessed us with water. He asked us to take care of this, take care of the water He's giving to us. And so I don't see why we are destroying God's gift, what God has given to us. So to the few who are destroying it, we are here to tell them we will not allow it to happen. We want the president to act. That's why I'm out here. That's why I'm lending my voice.
Is there a case where you want more stars, more non-faces to join this protest?
Everybody, once you are Ghanaian and you drink water and you live in this place and you care about this country, come out and join. Because this is not beyond you. Come out and lend your voice.
Yeah. So, a few of non-faces here. Of course, we have our men in uniform who have been very patient for the protesters. As today stands, the protesters are not in haste at all. But the police have also managed to have the patients as it's supposed to be. They are not pushing them, they are not rushing them. They just ask them not to block the entire road. So the vehicles also have one lane for themselves. So you can have the flow of traffic. So gradually we are heading towards the airport junction, after which we'll turn to the National Service Road towards Kaufudi, and then they will finally present their petition.
Absolutely, and we'll check in. We'll check in with you again in subsequent broadcasts. Thank you so much, Joseph Armstrong. Has been with the Stop Galamsey protesters who are on the second day of their 3-day protests. Let's bring you more Galamsey stories from across the regions in Regional Hub.
Now, smallholder farmers in the Bream North District are losing their crops and farmlands to irresponsible mining activities. Yvonne Nikwe reports not only are these farmlands being destroyed, but the Pra River is also facing severe pollution.
Tears reflect the struggle to find daily bread for her 4 dependents.
I'm My plea is for them to help me get back my productive farmland.
In the Achim Abudum community, arable lands have been auctioned to miners under questionable circumstances. Their staple oil palm plantation production is gradually decreasing.
In Yadwani name, in Krumano name, Mekono nin toast na moyeno. We say Gusua, who was a planet de Gusua, and so na amwa.
The river Pra has been polluted. It destroys our crops when we use it for vegetation.
I say,
Galamsey for be too abeno be near New Yen metal. My product also and our beno.
The illegal miners have destroyed our farmlands, which have affected our crop production.
Portions of the Pra River have been diverted and polluted, rendering it unusable for residents. Streams at the estuary point of the Pra River in Achim Abudum is worsening daily. A clear violation of the Water Resources Commission Acts 1996, Act 522, Sections 22 and 24, and contradicting government efforts to meet Sustainable Development Goals targets set by the United Nations by 2030. Residents are demanding a ban on mining activities to protect their farmlands, warning that food insecurity is at risk.
See, baby, I don't know how you can mofa at the coffin. You probably brave for him penny phone color.
Pits created by Galamsey have become really dangerous to commuters.
Smallholder farmers play a crucial role in contributing significantly to agricultural production and rural livelihoods. Opinion leader Robert Owusu expressed concern that mining activities have caused irreparable damage to the community's socio-cultural fabric, while health hazards loom large. He emphasized the need for law enforcement and political accountability.
It is the responsibility of the government
to see to it that all these land distractions come to an end. You see, this time the oil palm trees that you are seeing are not yielding to their maximum capacity. I don't know. They say because of this galamsey, the weather conditions have changed, and we are losing greatly. Children are being affected because at times they dodge from classes and then go for some simple monies to care for themselves. This has added up to teenage pregnancy and delinquency. Some people have started smoking Indian hemp.
Many farmers continue to feel helpless as their lands continue to be destroyed, while local chiefs appear indifferent, often complicit in land agreements for mining activities.
The paramount chief of Adanse, Opeja Kotre Bonsura Efriye II, has raised concern over directives from the Adanse North District Security Council asking him and other traditional authorities not to meddle in the fight against illegal mining. Expressing his dissatisfaction on the directive, the leader of the Adanse Traditional Council, who appears unhappy with the distraction caused by galamsey in his area, called on residents to hold the DCE and the Ashanti Regional Minister accountable if the menace continues to flourish. Ibrahim Abubakar joins us from the Ashanti region with a bit more on this story. Ibrahim, good afternoon to you. First, explain to us the role the council was playing prior to this directive and what may have, informed this directive.
Well, Kemini, so the Traditional Council there has also constituted a task force, just so they will also contribute their part in ending galamsey in the area. You go to Adanse North, South, Obuasi and the Kwa Enclave, you realize that galamsey has really destroyed large tracts of lands and also water bodies there. So that is how come the Traditional Authority also constituted that. But just last year, a member of that task force was attacked and maimed in the process when they visited some mining sites to clamp down on illegal mining. So for now, we do not know whether that may have led to that directive or not. But as we speak, the chief has not been informed why that directive, but he believes that that directive defeats the purpose of calling on all to join in the fight against illegal mining, because they are the custodians of the land, and for that matter, they shouldn't sit unconcerned for people to come and destroy their life and livelihood. So he is just informing the public that if they realize that galamsey is thriving in that area, then they shouldn't blame him, but they should rather blame the regional minister and also the DCE who have brought him that directive.
Said here, nonna adiminya ewo Adanse ha. The bar for from 2014 to do for the
galamsey is destroying lives and livelihood in the Adanse area. I've had to distill some chiefs just to serve as deterrent to others in a bid to fight against the menace, but it is still thriving. I recently received a letter from the District Security Council with a directive that chiefs must not involve themselves in galamsey-related cases. As a custodian of the land, why should I be prevented from helping in the fight against illegal mining?
So this Matasia, Mammy Kahoche, Namuno,
So if the destruction of our water bodies and land continue, the DC and regional minister should be held liable.
Yet, me against mining, but I'm against irresponsible mining. Intino, Sir Obi was sent here, DC. Regional minister, woman has stopped me, said,
Ibrahim, what's been the response of local authorities to the Adanse chief?
Well, you know, it's a mixed reaction when you come here because obviously there are people who are supporting his cause, saying that it is not right for the Regional Security Council to issue that directive because they are also playing their part in trying to bring an end to the menace. But obviously, because we have a section of the local residents who are also benefiting from this illegal activity, those people are not in support of the call. They believe that he should leave everything in the hands of the government to deal with.
Very well, Ibrahim, thank you so much for joining us here on the news. Ibrahim Abubakar is our Ashanti region correspondent. We've been talking about illegal mining in the Adansi area. You're still here on News Central. Still to come, it's a big day for Ghanaian football fans as head coach
You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
We all have that one friend, always by your side for the big moments and ready to assist. He's always got his eyes on the prize and his heart in the right place. Where would we be without our BFF? This season, enjoy all 380 Premier League games with your BFF GoTV. Upgrade or reconnect to GoTV Super Plus for the discounted price of just 265 cedis today. GoTV, love it.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get a packing from your one line. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. We'll wait here. We are star 712. It's put your phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now we you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random ticket. That's it. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
never. Tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
Auntie, now then I want to what time over me one money my busa.
Auntie Ama, but me by your school, university. Na scan year 2005. Anya dey menya. Ti ma yimi ntoma same de bro na pepi bi kakra. No dey fama me.
O enya su mensu fantoma no koto fi. Enti wonte se John Dramani Mahama. Ene NDC for say. Se nyame ya adom na Ghana for to abama na. Wo ba Aba University bia, Technical University, College of Education, Nursing Training. Wo mu nyina academic fees for first year. Eye free. No stress.
Adama ujiti. Atadwen another mate den de.
Auntie esi. She ebiem. Wo say enka ne bosia na obo wo ma omo to asukuu so no. Se na obo ne ba ko a se wo so obesi ho. E dia ma oma omo to aso no.
Ane enya mi sa John Mahama.
Ye chame so mu kra ne se. Ye nuanu ma omo di dem asabi graduate omo ko sukuu pon no. Wo se wo mu nyina wo ba eye free.
Ane Siama. Enka me ko nanka na ye 7 December. Nanka ya tu aba na my papa Mahama. Amana ba ya president.
Hwe wasit na moto aba pa. E de sakra ya papa beba wa brabo mu. To aba ma John Mahama ne NDC.
show that brings finality to all the critical issues. It is the stage where all the facts are checked, issues thoroughly interrogated, opinions shaped, and debates settled. But over here, we do more than just talk. We resolve problems. We hold those in power accountable. We address all the key happenings in society, from politics to health to education to everything you deem important. And we will center the voice of the ordinary Ghanaian. This is the show that sets the agenda.
Agenda shows Mondays at 3 p.m. on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
And this is your Election Command Center. We're starting off a bunch of election-related stories from the camp of the NDC, where the flag bearer of the party is cautioning electorates in the Northeast region and the country as a whole to be wary of last-minute road contracts government is awarding to purposely deceive them into voting for the NPP. Campaigning in the Northeast region, John Mahama says the road projects have no proper funding and will put his next administration into financial difficulties.
And then always, when elections are coming, then they pretend as if they're going to come and continue it. Right now, I hear there's a contractor who has been given the contract to start the road. And that is because we're going to vote. It's the same thing they did when I was MP. In my whole constituency, Bole Bamboy, only Bole had light. And so we're trying to electrify the rest of the communities when I left office. And so in 2004, when we were going to vote, they brought electricity poles and came and put them in all the communities. As soon as I won the election again, they came and carried the poles away.
Now, thousands of supporters of the NDC in the Efutu constituency have thronged the streets of Winneba to demonstrate against the Electoral Commission over alleged transfer of more than 3,000 voters from the constituency. The protesters are also demanding an immediate action from the police and the traditional authorities there on the destruction of billboards belonging to the NDC and its parliamentary candidate. The party has just presented a petition to the Paramount Chief of the Efutu Traditional Council, Nenyi Gate, for swift action.
Dated 5 September 2024 to the Electoral Commission regarding the 2009 illegal voter transfers onto the Efutu voter register. 2. A full-scale investigation onto how information regarding the nomination documents of the NDC parliamentary candidate and an independent candidate not leaked to the Efutu NDC parliamentary candidate and application of consequences. Go back. Leaving the functions as conditional and Chancellor of the Investor they express confidence in the students. They are addressing this and many other arguments which are defending a constituency and has the effect of making confusion, destabilizing peace, and heightening tension to residents and students of the university.
The Public Order Act regulates how a person or a group of persons must hold a public event. We duly notified the police about 2 weeks ago. And at the time we notified the police, there was no event. Which means that effectively they notified the police 2 days. And yet they went ahead and did what they did. I blame the divisional commander who has assumed a partisanship position in this constituency. But I am also grateful to the junior ranks and other junior commanders of the police service in the Efutu constituency.
Let's move away from politics to the western region, specifically the Shamar district, where abandoned projects have become a major concern, particularly when it comes to education. Opinion leaders are urging authorities to prioritize completing stalled school projects to improve teaching and learning environment. Rama Smith has more.
Abandoned school projects plague the Shamar constituency. From the Onyamajun DA Primary School, where in 2015 the NDC administration began constructing a teacher's bungalow but was abandoned after losing the 2016 elections to the NPP. And then a 3-unit classroom block for Asoko Junior High School initiated by the former MP Ato Pamford and the Shamar District Assembly in 2019. When Ato Pamford lost the 2019 NPP primaries to lawyer Samuel Erickson Abaka, the 45% complete project was abandoned. Another contentious project is the uncompleted polyclinic, begun in 2004. The facility, meant to serve 68,000 people, remains unfinished despite being 85% complete. Asokwe Salmon, a rapidly growing community of approximately 7,000 residents, faces significant education challenges. In an interview, Chief Linguist Isaac Kobner revealed that severe overcrowding has forced the local school to divide classes into 4 streams, with each stream accommodating around 60 students. Our rapidly growing community has led to a significant increase in enrollment at Isaman Primary School. To manage the numbers, classes are divided into 4 groups in alphabetical order, with each having about 60 pupils, totaling over 200 students in just Class 1. We initially welcomed the construction project, expecting it to ease the congestion, but it has now been abandoned and full of weeds. To address the overcrowding, the District Assembly and GMPC partnered to construct a 6-unit classroom block with a 6-month deadline. However, progress halted unexpectedly at the roofing level without any explanation. This building is under the care of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation. The feasibility study began 2 years ago, followed by construction in January last year, with a 6-month deadline to enable student admission for this academic year. But now it has been abandoned with no explanation. In a surprising turn of events, despite 2 unfinished projects, the current Member of Parliament, Samuel Erickson Abaka, and the Assembly's 3-unit classroom block, which they began, has also stalled after reaching the roofing stage. A respected opinion leader in the community, Robert Eten, indicates the school was forced to turn away many students this academic year due to limited capacity. This critical shortage denied many school-aged children access to education this academic year. The community is urging authorities to prioritize the completion of all stalled projects to enhance teaching and learning environment. Education is often considered the key to success, but we face a harsh reality of insufficient classrooms. We plead for the completion of the halted project. Rama Smith, TV3 News, Shamar.
Rama Smith with that report. Take us on to our second break here on NewsCentral. When we return, we'll be at the Ghana Football Association headquarters, where we're expecting that press briefing by Black Stars coach Otuado, listing the squad ahead of that doubleheader against James Kwesi Appiah's Sudan. Must-win games for us. We'll be there and get a sense of what to expect. Stay with us.
Club.
Uplifting women.
Phoenix Club.
Uplifting
I
women.
mean Phoenix Club.
Uplifting women.
Thank you very much for having me here today. The nation builder John Mahama and Professor Nana Jane are bringing you the Women's Development Bank. It is a very special bank run by only women, to serve only women. The aim is to empower millions of women across the country. The bank will have branches all over the nation to provide you with loans with very low interest and on very flexible terms.
Madam, I run a small makeup and nail bar. Do I qualify for a loan?
No need to bother, my sister. I mean hairdressers, market women, women-owned online businesses, female graduates, women in the corporate world, traders, outbreak, women in all fields qualify for loans. With John Mahama and Professor Nana Jane at the helm, the Ghanaian woman will surely rise.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Let's get straight into it. Another big day for Ghanaian football fans. Head coach Otuado is set to release his squad for that doubleheader against James Akwesi Appiah Sudan in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers. Ghana's just earned a draw from a possible 6 after losing to Angola and sharing the spoils with Niger in September. With me is Orek Wampofu in the studio, but let's first touch base with Billy Shen, who is the GFA Secretariat right now, for some details as to what to expect. Bill, talk to us. We know that presser is on in a couple of minutes, but have we got any idea the possible names that could be making the squad for the 2 games?
So the GFA are keeping this price watertight when it comes to the squad list. But what we are hearing is there's a possible return for Alexander Jiku, who was injured in the previous call-up list and is now fit and fiddle and is playing. And so the expectation is that Otuado will be calling him. And of course, we suspect that the usual.
Too bad, that connection with Billy Shen, not too great. But I mentioned Oreku is in studio with me. Oreku, Bill just mentioned that it's quite tight in terms of getting to know what the squad is. I get the indication Bill is back. Let's just wrap up. Bill, you were trying to conclude on that statement about how tight it is getting to know about the squad. Just finish it up for us.
Yes, they are being watertight about the squad. Currently, Otuado is in the building. He's getting ready to come in. He's getting his list ready to come in. And of course, the journalists and everyone is gathered and are ready to hear what he has to say. I believe it's a very tough match for him. He needs all 6 points from the 2 games against Sudan as well.
Oh, thank you. We'll come back to you a lot later in the day for the full details as with regards who made it and who didn't. Oreku, the big question, I think that's where Bill left it off from, how important the 2 games are for us and the fact that we're going up against someone who knows our system and knows our football very well.
I think it's a really, really important game, arguably the most important game for the Black Stars since the Africa Cup of Nations earlier this year. I think if you look at how the team started the qualification campaign, it hasn't been too great.
Yeah.
You're looking at the fact that they failed to beat Angola. They lost at home for the first time in more than 20 years.
Yeah.
And then also in a game against Niger. Niger is supposed to be sort of the party boys in the group where everyone takes points from them. And so it means that Ghana are in a very dangerous situation because they've lost and then they've also dropped points against a team that everyone is expected to beat in the group as well. So if you're looking at the records, that's our worst ever start to an AFCON qualifying campaign since 1961. And so it's new territory for the Black Stars. Usually the team seals qualification with 4 or 5 games and then relaxes to the last 2 games. But in the past recent times, you're seeing that it's getting much closer play. It was only up until a few days ago when Ghana decided to play at Accra first before all of this, but now it's even more difficult.
Yeah. Oreku, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm not really optimistic with regards the fixtures we're expecting a lot later, but that's Oreku Ampofu with 3 Sports as, I don't know, the game is what, next week Friday, and so perhaps we'll get a bit more in terms of details as to what really to expect when the squad is released and then the training start. Then perhaps I'll be confident enough to give a prediction. But for now, I'll hold my my horses.
Team Ghana always.
Well, yeah, I like to be a realist sometimes.
Period.
Team Ghana always.
Yes.
That's on period. I agree, but I'm a realist as well. Let's scan quickly as we head out for the last time this week. Do that. Pick your smartphone. Scan that QR code, join our 3 News WhatsApp channel. That's where you find all things news related, really, from us here at Media General, TV3, 3FM, 3news.com, you name it. You want to catch the interesting cartoons, art by Tilapia. I'm sure you find it on 3 News, on our 3 News channel as well. And so do well to be a part of it. That's our bulletin for today and for the week.
Yeah. Yes, it's been a long time coming. Yeah. But we'll be back on Monday, and I'll see you a little later into the night. Yes.
Ghana tonight, and then a lot later on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Hot issues as well. I am Awina Egbeta.
And I am Kemeni Amano. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Key Points, the #1 award-winning television news analysis program, providing an enlightened analysis of the key issues facing us as a country.
The key points of the stories that matter with the people who matter.
This is Key Points, the #1 award-winning television news analysis program. Every Saturday, 7 a.m. on TV3